Highland Forest Eagles. I'm happy to share some books with you that concern the election that was just held here in the United States. And I'd like to read a book to you about the current president and then the president and the president-elect and the vice president-elect who will be coming into office on January 20th. So our current president is Donald Trump. This book is a biography and on the life of Donald Trump, our current president, and it is by Jake Lee. It is a biography, and that means that it is a nonfiction book. So just like many nonfiction books, not all of them, but many of them, there are some text features that I'd like to bring to your attention. We have a table of contents. We have a glossary. We have websites and an index. Donald Trump. In 2016, Donald Trump was elected the 45th U.S. president. Many were surprised by his election. Trump was a famous businessman and TV star. He had little political practice. That means he was not a politician. Trump promised many changes for the country. He planned to bring more jobs to the United States. He said he would change immigration. Immigration are the laws that we have when people that are not American citizens wish to come into the country and become American citizens. He would put America first. Trump supporters were excited by his ideas. Others felt he was unfit to be president. The world waited to see how Trump would lead. Here's another text feature, a timeline. So you would be able to see from birth till 2016 when he was elected. So he was born on June 14th in New York City. In 1968, Trump graduated from college. In 1983, Trump Tower opened. Now, of course, this is not everything that happened in his lifetime, but these are some of the major events that occurred in his lifetime. In 1987, Trump's first book, called The Art of the Deal, was released. In 1999, Trump decides to run for president. In 2004, Trump began hosting a television show called The Apprentice. In 2015, in June, Trump announced that he would run for the United States president. And in 2016, on November 8th, Trump was elected as the 45th United States president. So once again, highlights of his life. Now we can go into a little more detail. Early life. Donald John Trump was born on June 14th, 1946 in New York City. His parents were Fred and Mary. Donald had 2 brothers and 2 sisters. Fred was a real estate developer. That means that he worked with buildings, selling buildings, buying buildings, renting buildings, and also a developer, which means that he would be in charge of construction of new companies and new homes. The family was very wealthy. They lived in a very large house. This is a picture of his childhood house in Queens, New York. Here's another element. Here's some fast facts. He was born on this day, the wives that he had, how many children. So just some real quick facts about Donald Trump. Of course, the book gives you more details about those fast facts. Off to school. Donald attended Kew Forest School. There, he was known for being loud and bold. He often got into trouble. So when Donald was 13, his parents sent him to a military academy. Military school was hard for Donald. The school had many rules. He had to get up early and do chores. Still, Donald did well at his new school. He became a sports star. He was known for his leadership ability. This is a picture. Donald attended New York Military Academy for 5 years. He was made a captain for a short time as a senior. Here's another chapter called Work and Family. Trump finished military school in 1964. Next, he went to college in New York and then Pennsylvania. Trump graduated in 1968. He went to work for his father at Trump Organization. That was the name of the company. At work, Trump oversaw his father's rental properties. He began buying more properties. By 1973, he was president of the Trump Management Corporation. As Trump grew even wealthier, his family also grew. In 1977, he married Ivana. The two went on to have 3 children. Here's a picture of Donald Trump and his wife, Ivana Trump. She often helped her husband on business projects. Building an empire. Through the 1970s and the 1980s, Trump continued buying properties. His company also built new buildings. Trump became known for his ability to make deals. In 1983, Trump opened Trump Tower. At the time, this was the tallest all-glass building in New York City. It held offices, homes, and stores. The Trump family lived on the top 3 floors. In 1987, Trump wrote about his life. The book was called The Art of the Deal. Trump had become a well-known public figure. This is the Trump Towers. It has 58 floors. But the top floor where the Trumps live is called floor number 68. Trouble for Trump. In the late 1980s, the U.S. economy was struggling. Trump lost a lot of money on his properties. He had to borrow money to pay the bills. Trump also faced personal struggles. In 1992, he divorced Ivana. He then married Marla Maples. The two had 1 daughter together before they divorced in 1999. Trump's business improved in the mid-1990s. In 1996, he bought the Miss Universe organization with TV networks, NBC. It produced several beauty pageants. So this is a picture of Marla Maples. She was the host of 2 Miss Universe pageants while she was married to Donald Trump. Politics and TV. In 1999, Trump began turning from business to politics. That year, he began his first presidential run. He hoped to be chosen by the Reform Party in the 2000 election. However, Trump did not have enough support, so he dropped out of the race. Meanwhile, Trump kept growing his business. He soon found fame on TV. In 2004, Trump began hosting a show called The Apprentice. On the show, individuals fight for a job with Trump's company. The show made Trump even more famous. When players on The Apprentice were sent home, Trump told them, "You're fired." Trump became famous for this saying. Trump's brand continued to grow. In 2005, he founded Trump University. It allowed students to take online real estate courses. Real estate, again, is the buying and selling of properties, homes, buildings. In the 2000s also brought changes to Trump's personal life. He married Melania Trump in 2005. The couple have 1 son together. In 2008, Trump's show was renamed The Celebrity Apprentice. On it, celebrities fought for money for charity. A celebrity is somebody who is famous. They become famous either by being a musician or an actor or by doing something very famous. But Trump was preparing to move his attention to an even larger crowd. Here is a picture. Mr. Trump co-wrote 16 books. They discuss his life, business, golf, and other topics. New election. In 2011, Trump once again stated that he would run for president, but he had switched parties. This time he would run as a Republican. Democratic President Barack Obama was up for re-election. Trump questioned whether Obama was a U.S. citizen. If Obama was not a citizen, he could not run for president. Trump asked to see Obama's birth certificate. Many voters agreed. Obama released the document. Trump had been wrong, but he had proven that he could sway voters. He could persuade people to think like he thought. So here's a picture of Barack Obama. He was reelected as the United States president in the 2012 election. Many U.S. groups put up billboards. A billboard is a big advertisement that you see on the side of the road. So many U.S. groups put up billboards demanding to see President Obama's birth certificate. Trump decided not to run for president that year, but in June 2015, he made another announcement. He would run for president in the 2016 election. That month, Trump gave a speech on ending illegal immigration. Illegal immigration is for people who want to come into the United States, but against the rules that have been set up. In it, he made harmful statements about Mexicans. As a result, several organizations stopped working with Trump. Some people did not see Trump as a realistic choice for president. However, he continued to be popular among many Republicans. Trump promised a change in U.S. politics. He said he would put America first. His famous saying was, "Make America great again." Here's a photo. It says Trump has been a member of 3 political parties. He belonged to the Reform Party, the Democratic Party, and the Republican Party. Trump's supporters liked his message. Others were troubled by it. Trump spoke about Muslims, women, and other groups. Some of his statements were seen as unkind. Many voters questioned whether Trump had the training and character to be president. Still, in July 2016, the Republican Party selected him to run in the election. He would run against the Democrat Hillary Clinton. The 2016 election was very ugly. Both sides made unfavorable claims about one another. The candidates met for 3 debates. When you debate, you go in front of people, they ask you questions, you answer the questions, and then you talk with each other about your different opinions that you have. Most people agreed that Hillary Clinton won the 3 debates, but Trump continued to draw voters. Here's a picture of Trump and Clinton when they first faced each other in a debate on September 26, 2016. President Trump. Both Trump and Clinton were unpopular with voters, but one of them would be elected. On November 8, 2016, Americans cast their votes. People went to the voting place to vote. Clinton was ahead in most polls. Polls are people who gather outside the voting place and ask, who did you vote for? And then they'll write down that information, and they gather that data. So Clinton was ahead in most polls leading up to Election Day, but when the votes in each state were counted, Trump won. Many people were shocked. On January 20th, 2017, Trump became the 45th U.S. president. Many people still disagree with his ideas, but U.S. citizens hoped President Trump would be a good leader. Here's a picture. Trump was the oldest president in U.S. history to be sworn into office. So as I said, some of the text features that we have in a nonfiction book are wonderful because they give us additional information from what we read in the text. So this gives us information about the office of the president, the 3 branches of the United States government, the qualifications for running for president. It talks about the Electoral College, which has been in the news quite frequently. It talks about the line of successions. What would happen if the president was unable to do his job? Who would take over if he became ill or unable to perform the job of the president? Who would take over? This tells us the vice president would be next in line, and then after that, the Speaker of the House, and on, all through this line of people. This is the benefits of being the president. What do they earn? What kind of power do they have? What do the powers do they do not have? All of those things. And then here is a list of all the 45 presidents that we've had thus far. Of course, not number 46. That's going to be President-elect Joe Biden. And that is the story of Donald Trump.